What's the holdup on getting a deal done with one Tyler Boyd? What's the holdup on the Pittsburgh Steelers adding a veteran presence to that wide receiver room? Welcome back to a special Sunday edition of the show here on Mike Drop Sports. I'm your host, Jason. Let's dive into what the Pittsburgh Steelers got going on with that wide receiver position and what maybe their plans are and what is holding up this team from making a move. There has been rumors, and the Steelers have been connected to a hometown kid in Tyler Boyd, one that played with the Cincinnati Bengals, and they have been tied to him all free agency, basically the whole time. But yet the Pittsburgh Steelers have not pulled the trigger or got a deal done. According to Pittsburgh Steelers media personality Ray Fittipaldo, there is a gap here. There is something going on with this contract, and Tyler Boyd is more than likely coming in to be that third wide receiver. That's just really what it's going to boil down to. Whoever gets signed is probably coming in to be that. That is going to be their role originally, that third spot. Maybe they can fight to get the twos reps, but nobody is going to overtake George Pickens. He is the Pittsburgh Steelers franchise wide receiver right now. So the Pittsburgh Steelers are looking at all their options, looking into the draft here, and that's probably where they'll end up trying to get somebody is in the draft. And we will talk about that also here later in the show. But with this Tyler Boyd thing, Tyler Boyd is expected to or wanting to get about $6 to $8 million in that range, probably more like $7 to $8 million. And the Pittsburgh Steelers don't seem to be willing to part with that type of cash just yet. So rumors are swirling that maybe the Pittsburgh Steelers are trying to wait Tyler Boyd out to see, hey, is anybody else going to sign him? Is anybody else going to offer him that money that he's looking for each season? And the Pittsburgh Steelers, I think, would be more comfortable in that $4 to $5 million range per season to get Tyler Boyd. After the release of a guy like Allen Robinson, a guy that was about a $10 million cap hit, they alleviated that cap hit and then started the search. They went out and brought in Van Jefferson, a guy that had a big season in 2021. So they're hoping that maybe pans out. But the Pittsburgh Steelers, I think, still want to have one more veteran inside of that room. And if they can't get it for the right price, the draft is going to be the only answer. Is Tyler Boyd expecting too much from any team? Being about 11 years into this thing in the NFL, this career that he has established for himself, being an 11-year pro, maybe has lost a step through that time. Is it possible that Tyler Boyd gets that payday that he's looking for? In my eyes, I think the Pittsburgh Steelers would be overpaying for $8 million. The more I've looked at it, the more I've looked at Tyler Boyd, looking at this team's contract as a whole, all their contracts, the available cap space, the amount of money that is going to be needed to move into the draft, of where you're going to have to sign your draft picks, etc., etc. Let's look, though, at Tyler Boyd in terms of being an $8 million receiver. His production would have to be pretty decent, and you would have to get far more out of him than you got out of that spot last year with an Allen Robinson. That would be unacceptable. You're paying $10 million, and maybe the Steelers learned their lesson with that and said, you know what, shit, man. We're not going to do that. We're not going to bring in a guy like Tyler Boyd and maybe not get that production out of him that we're looking for. So now the Steelers are saying to themselves, hey, Tyler, can we get you for 3, 4, 5 million at the max, Let's spread this out over a 2-year deal. Get you here for 2 years. That'll bring you to about 13 NFL seasons. You'll be looking toward the back end of your NFL career there. That'll be a nice payday for you, 10, $12 million in total with bonuses and things of that nature. That's where Tyler Boyd's market is right now in terms of what I'm looking at. Tyler Boyd would be an excellent addition at that price, and I think you would still get some productivity out of him. I think he is going to be able to be in the run game and be effective in terms of blocking. I think he'll be effective in the slot and in the pass game. I think he would be a great safety valve for Russell Wilson. I think that the Steelers are looking to utilize that tight end room this year a lot more. So maybe the slot receiver won't get as many looks as we all originally maybe thought they would inside an Arthur Smith offense. Maybe that tight end room will be more of an emphasis, so they don't really want to go out and jam a bunch of money up and tie a bunch of money up in that slot receiver role. However, the Pittsburgh Steelers really need a slot receiver. They have to have a slot receiver and really a number two receiver also. But I think you find that number two receiver inside of the draft. There's so many options. It's a very deep draft class. And I think the Pittsburgh Steelers could benefit from just getting a young guy there. But now that we've talked about the Tyler Boyd situation and what may be holding that signing up, maybe the Pittsburgh Steelers wait him out long enough to where he's cool with $4 or $5 million, and the Pittsburgh Steelers go ahead and bring him in. But then there are rumors out there swirling that if you go out in the draft, that possibly bringing in one of these young guys that have a very high ceiling and high potential, that maybe that disrupts things with George Pickens. I think that that's a false statement. I don't think that that's going to happen. I think George Pickens would welcome a guy with open arms, knowing that he is the team's number one. The team has shown him that this offseason by making him basically the one good receiver that they had left. And you get rid of Deontay Johnson. It's basically like the Steelers said to George, here, we are handing you the keys in the wide receiver room. We are expecting you now in year 3 to become a leader, to become a good, solid NFL pro, and continue those the numbers that you've put up in productivity, and continue to grow those and become one of the elite guys in the game. And if George Pickens continues to do that, the Pittsburgh Steelers will pay him top shelf wide receiver money when the time comes. You have George Pickens going into year 3. That means he has this year and next year on his rookie deal, and he will be looking for a contract after that. So we'll see how this pans out, but the Steelers are telling him going into year 3, you're our guy. So I don't think that there would be any problem with George Pickens moving in to that position, to that leadership role. And I don't think there's going to be any issue if you go out and draft a guy that has a very high ceiling that you're hopeful for. I don't think that there will be any issue, because I think that that will really add to George Pickens' game. Because why? Nobody's going to be wanting to double team him constantly if you're putting a guy over there on the other side that is going to garner attention, that is going to have productivity, that is going to make teams think twice about doubling George. And then you say to yourself, oh man, we get Tyler Boyd. That adds that other element. When you have a guy like Calvin Austin, who's a speedster, who adds that element of blowing the top off of the defense for your offense for the Pittsburgh Steelers in 2024. That makes this wide receiver room dangerous, guys. If the Pittsburgh Steelers are able to go out in the draft and secure a quality target that has extremely high upside, it would be something to really get excited about, especially if the Steelers are able to get in another piece on that veteran side of the wide receiver coin here. Getting a veteran in, allowing this wide receiver room to be really, really dangerous. And I know Arthur Smith runs a lot of heavy packages. At least he did in the past. A guy that was very run heavy, play action heavy. That doesn't mean that he doesn't want a shit ton of weapons, guys, because guess what? The more weapons you have, the more he can open that up. Maybe in Tennessee, he was just forced to do that with Derrick Henry, with the way Ryan Tannehill played, with the amount of weapons that they had. Maybe that he was just playing inside of the constraints of the player personnel that he had. But if you're the Steelers and you add all these weapons and you have a versatile group at the wide receiver spot, you are going to become lethal to other defenses. They are going to have to pick their poison. And if you're Arthur Smith, you're going to be able to spread people out and create big-time running lanes. You're going to be able to create a cool play action package with that spread offense also. You're just going to add another weapon to your offense, another layer, especially when you can pull 4 wide and you can have that running back in the back end here, and you do play action. You can run out of that formation. You can do special things, and you're going to keep defenses guessing. And maybe I'm far-fetched here, but man, if you really look at it, that's what this does for the Steelers. And I think Omar and Mike Tomlin are looking at that. Yes, Arthur has a way of playing. Arthur Smith has a way and a style that he played with that succeeded in Tennessee. But if you're the Steelers, you want it to be more versatile, and you want Arthur to grow that package. You don't want him to be the same as he was in Tennessee. And when you give him all these weapons, I think that can only spell good things. And I think that that makes Arthur Smith a dangerous offensive coordinator also, considering his knowledge on play calling and his way of controlling the game. And that will give the Steelers that other element to where they can speed it up, slow it down. They can control the pace of the game. It gives them options, as I've said, all offseason. And that is the theme of our offseason here with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Options. Omar Khan has provided options, and that is going to continue to prove to be very beneficial for the Steelers. That is going to allow them to continue to grow. And the Steelers have two decent quarterbacks right now that I think could grow into something grow into something special. Yes, Russell Wilson has had issues, but he wasn't horrible in Denver, and he still has a lot of juice in that arm. He looks rather fit, and the only reason that I didn't like to sign him because he was old, and it's a one-year deal. I didn't think you were planning for the future. I'm more of a long-term guy. But I think Russell Wilson could definitely be special in 2024. I think he could definitely do some damage with the weapons and the way that this offense is starting to lean. I think that he could definitely do some good things. And then you look at Justin Fields, a guy they got for a bag of peanuts off of the Chicago Bears. You look at Justin Fields and the way that he's been handled in Chicago. It looks to me, though, as though that Justin Fields never got put in the right situations, never had the right people around him. That doesn't excuse his fumbles. That doesn't excuse any of his turnover issues. That doesn't excuse his inability to read defenses or anticipate throws. That doesn't excuse that. Yes, he has work to do, and I feel like he's still a very raw product. I think he is a superior athlete. I think he could really do some special things athletically. But I think given the right opportunity and some time to sit behind Russell Wilson and allow himself to grow, Justin Fields could be special later down the road. Could be, guys. I'm not guaranteeing you or saying that it is a definitive thing, that it will happen. No, I'm not. No one knows. But I think it could be. I think it could plan out or play out to be that. So the Pittsburgh Steelers find themselves in a good situation still nonetheless, even though they haven't signed that guy that we're looking for here in the wide receiver area of free agency. They haven't done it just yet. But the Pittsburgh Steelers do have options, and they have not painted themselves into a corner. They are going to be able to go into this offseason period, these camps, OTAs, mini camps, training camps. They're going to be able to go into this offseason program and really have some options to be able to be different. You're bringing all these new coaches in. There are all these different bright ideas, hopefully, and you're going to allow them, if you're Mike Tomlin, at least you should, allow them to do what they do best, and that is create, be creative, and allow them to figure this thing out with the personnel that that the franchise has provided them. Allow them to figure this thing out on the fly. And allow it to grow. And don't paint it into a certain way. Don't say, hey, Arthur Smith is our offensive coordinator. Arthur likes to do play action pass and run the football. Yes, okay, that's good. But don't limit yourself to that. And I don't think the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to do that. I think they've set themselves up for a run in 2024. At least that's the plan. They want to give themselves the best opportunity to add a seventh Lombardi down there on South Water Street into that trophy case. And I think the Pittsburgh Steelers have realized the quarterback position was holding us back. We have some holes on the offensive line. The offense was killing our defense that we pay so much money for, that we already pay the most in the NFL for. No other team pays their defense more than the Pittsburgh Steelers, which isn't a problem. You have some young guys on the offense, so which is why it kind of looks like that. But if you're the Steelers, you can't continue to waste the time of TJ Watt, Cameron Hayward, Minka Fitzpatrick, and you don't want to start that clock ticking on Joey Porter Jr. and not be a winner. You want to allow these guys to succeed. And the Pittsburgh Steelers, I believe, have went all in. That's at least a plan here for 2024. And we'll see how that goes. But before May 2nd, I think they need to figure out the Justin Fields situation, if he is going to be the guy you're going to lean on moving forward. A guy that you're going to hand the keys over to once Russell Wilson has finished his career in the city of Pittsburgh. If that's how it all goes and that's how it all plays out, Perfect. That's exactly what Omar and Mike are probably thinking, and the whole building is probably thinking that. But if you're Justin Fields, you have to realize what you have to take here. You probably have to take a $10 to $12 million deal for 2 seasons to allow yourself to get the opportunity to be that starter yet again. And I think Justin Fields and I hopefully his representation are smart enough to realize that he has been given a second chance here, and this is a chance to restart, rejuvenate his career, and get it back on track to allow him to go and possibly make that big money later down the road. Because guess what, guys? All these contracts, you can tear them up at any time and remake them and get yourself paid. So just bite the bullet here if you're Justin Fields and think to yourself the long term. Play the long game, because you could really have something special here in the city of Pittsburgh if you are patient and you are a good teammate and you don't cause disruptions, which I don't think Justin Fields will do. I think you could definitely set yourself up for something special down the road. All right, guys, thank you again for joining us here on our Sunday edition, our special Sunday edition, because it doesn't normally happen. We did a live show last night on Saturday. We've been pumping out the content 7 days a week here on Mike Drop Sports, and we appreciate you guys so much for watching every single day. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. Don't forget to become a member of the Mike Drop Mafia for 99 cents a month. That is something cool that you can have during the live shows with badges, emojis, all that fun stuff. Also, it gets you entered into our channel giveaways. The next month, you will have a giveaway of a James Harrison photo from Super Bowl 43 with that iconic pick six. That will be our next giveaway. And also, don't forget, guys, our daily uploads Monday through Friday every morning. It'll be out before 10 a.m. in the morning every day of the week. Also, I don't want you to forget our live shows at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, except for Wednesdays. Wednesdays, they're at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so we can have our boy Sean on the show. And also, guys, thank you guys so very much, man. This has been one hell of a ride here on Mike Drop Sports, and we are just continuing that climb as we head toward 5,000 subscribers, man. This is definitely starting to be really cool, and I couldn't have asked for a better community of Steeler fans, and this channel is rapidly becoming the best Steelers community in all of YouTube and all of social media. It definitely is. The people, the thoughts, the minds that you guys all have, and the comments that you give just shows your football IQ and how awesome you truly are. So until next time, guys, I'm Jason. This is Mike Drop Sports. Peace.